Anywho, you only get to the first big one, Brian. We got to get to the first big one now because this set new standards. The Coffin match between Darby Allin and the Boozer. Something's the matter with a lot of these people, is all you can say. As soon as here comes Boozer and Schaefer entering through the arena, and in the back of the building, Darby jumps them in the aisleway, in the middle of the people. And he's swinging a garbage can around. And then he runs up to the balcony and gives him a coffin drop off the balcony. And the people for a second go, holy shit, holy shit. And then they quiet down and it's complete silence while they're having an endless fight in the arena on stairs, in the cheap seats and down on that you can barely see. The camera can't catch it. It's not that quick of a pace. Every once in a while, they'll see somebody fall and they'll pop. And then they just walk fighted or fight walked. What would that be, Brian, where they just hold on to each other and they walk with each other and every 20 or 30 feet they hit each other with a half-hearted punch or run somebody into a rail? Is that fight walking or walk fighting?
A chat and attack.
That'll work. And as they're going through, the people are laughing and they're taking their picture with their phones. And so then they go to ringside. And did you see on camera, the first good camera shot of the goddamn match was when they were climbing over the rail and Moxley was trying to get his blade out of his pocket and couldn't? Or were you paying close enough attention?
Actually, I did not see that specific shot, no.
If you go back when they fight through the building and they're coming over the rail at the ringside area into ringside, Moxley is sticking two fingers and his thumb down into his jeans pocket, trying to get his blade out, but he couldn't get it. He's fumbling. It's the announcers even said, "Oh, watch Moxley." They thought he was going to pull a screwdriver out or something. No, he wasn't. You weren't supposed to be looking at that. They called attention to it. So then, when they get over it, that's when Darby was biting him on the ear forever before they got up and he was bleeding.
Yeah, I was watching during that period of time, so I just missed it.
Okay. Well, apparently without the blade, because you see in the background of the lengthy bite, Marina Schaefer bends over and picks it up off the ground where they had been. But in the meantime, apparently he just told Darby, well, just bite my ear, because he came up bleeding. It took him forever. Or maybe Darby had a spare blade handy. But what an amateur fucking putz Moxley is. You can't put a blade in the pocket of your goddamn jeans and expect to be able to pull it out in the right fashion without anybody seeing it. Nevertheless, after the long stationary effort, Moxley's ear was bleeding. And then Moxley turned around. It took forever to set up the coffin, but then Darby dove on him so both of them could fall in it. And that's the thing. This was some stunt they would do, punctuated by everybody wandering around, selling around, or trying to set up props for the next trick. At one point, Marina Schaefer was undoing the turnbuckle with a wrench. It was like she was loosening the turnbuckle, like they were going to take the rope off. You never saw anything else about it. Did you?
No, I don't think. As you say that, I am thinking about it. I remember her unscrewing it.
Why was she loosening the turnbuckle when nothing ever happened with taking the turnbuckle off?
I remember thinking, I wonder what she's going to do, and then nothing ever happened, but I forgot about it.
Did you also see that Claudio and Garcia and Yuta all came out and stood around while nothing was happening? And then he told them to leave. What did they do?
They didn't do anything. He just didn't want any help. The heel didn't want help from them.
But they didn't come out trying to help him. They just wandered out and stood around for a while. And then Schaefer walked off. And the crowd was quiet. But then they sang something lightly. but there was no action going on. But then Darby would pulled a fork out of the turnbuckle and stabbed Moxley like 15 times in the head, and there's more blood. And he got the coffin drop on the coffin end, so they broke the lid on their coffin. And then Darby again is stabbing Moxley in the ear with the fork. But Moxley gives Darby his finished double-arm DDT on the coffin. And I'm thinking, again, my God, this is September 20th. It's the head-to-head competition between WWE and AEW, their big shows, premium live event, pay-per-view, whatever. And it's like the difference between what you would see at Radio City Music Hall and what you'd see at the Pink Pussy Porn Theater. And just because Moxley, again, has these fucking fantasies that he's Nick Gage and all of his toothless glory, their show looks so goddamn low fucking rent. So then at ringside, Danielson on commentary pulls out a duffel bag and gives it to Darby, and Darby gets in a duffel bag and pulls out a plastic bag and puts the plastic bag over Moxley's head and starts stomping the shit out of him and puts him in the coffin, but he doesn't have the lid shut. When here comes Pac. Remember Pac? How long's Pac been gone?
Oh, it's got to be at least 8 months, 9 months, something like that.
Well, Pac's back. And his hair is shorter. And he comes in and kicks Darby right in front. The referee is not only, they put him in this position where not only he's staring at this and can't do anything about it because it's no disqualification, lazy booking, but he doesn't even have an upset face. He's not even in the moment where he's going, no, you don't belong here, you should leave, and waving his arms. He's just standing there watching this fucking shit go on. And that's why they can't register anything with people. There's no legitimate emotion being invested in this shit because it's so over the top and stupid on a visual level. People are just waiting for somebody else to do something that looks like it hurts. And so Pac power bombs Darby over the top rope onto the coffin on the floor, and then got a body bag and put Darby in the body bag, took his time, and then put Darby in the bag in the coffin, and Moxley kicked the lid shut, and the referee called for the bell, ding, ding, ding. And they think that that somehow was a good idea. Not only number one, Darby should have won, because my God, we've been inflicted with this fucking Moxley for so long, but get some babyface over. But not only that, but even if you were going to put the heel over, it gets no heat when it's all just done right there at the heel's leisure, with nobody trying to stop it and the referee standing dumbfounded and slack-jawed. So it was a rotten finish to a shitty match featuring the world's worst full-time pro wrestler. And then they all carried, the Boar Horseman came back and carried the coffin out of the arena. Oh, joy.
And the fans booed, and it wasn't the boo your heels. I think a lot of it is we don't like this Boar Horseman stuff, this Death Rider stuff. Even if you get the big return of Pac, and boy, how much charisma did he show, just standing there with his new haircut. But the baby faces get screwed over by Moxley, who is a heel that the fans are kind of sick of doing this, doing that. Even the fans that like Moxley, I don't know if they like him with this fucking all-star stable.
And it's bigger now. There's more of them.
Well, because now they have Daniel Garcia, and Pac is back.
Pac's back. So Pac, Garcia, Claudio, Useless, Schaefer, Boozer. There's 6 right there. Did I get them all?
I think so.
Jesus, it's the modern day NWO. Anywho,
Well, Jim.
yes.
Well, I was going to say, perhaps after a match like that, you have to think about all the different parties involved. And I don't just mean the 2 wrestlers who are banged up and bruised up and literally placed in body bags or coffins, but I mean the audience. That's a lot to witness, a lot to take in. You have to think about your health. You have to think about your sleep. You have to think about your mental well-being. And you know what? I think we have a friend that could help a lot of the listeners with at least something that I said, and I bet I know the man to tell them all about it.
Of the words that you said were English. That's what I was about to say, and that is the point after the Coffin match there where I decided I had to eat and switch off this program so that I could replenish myself. And you know what you do after you eat, don't you, Brian? What I like to do after I eat is sleep. That's where I was going, but we got to the same place. And you know what makes you sleep and sleep well and sleep with the peace of mind and calm serenity that comes with a lack of stress and a good approach to your mental wellness? CBD gummies from Cornbread Hemp. That's where we went, because I'll tell you what, folks.
Yeah.
Cornbread Hemp, right here in Louisville, Kentucky. They're taking, I've mentioned they're sponsoring all the various University of Louisville athletics now, the football, the basketball, the disc golf. They're all over the place. They're taking over the state of Kentucky because they have a fine quality product. Cornbread Hemp CBD gummies are made from the best part of the hemp plant, the flower, for the purest and most potent CBD formulated to help relieve discomfort, stress, and sleeplessness. Now, for example, if you're stressed mentally, well, a CBD gummy every so often will make you feel right as rain. Let's say you're tossing and turning at night. You can't sleep, you can't relax. A CBD gummy would help you just make you right as rain. And let's say you're experiencing discomfort, like I am right now. Normally, it would make you feel better, but for the discomfort I've got right now, they'd need to make them in suppository form. But folks, I'll tell you one thing. Nevertheless, you will not have a pain in the ass with how you can order these fine products, because all you got to do is go to cornbreadhemp.com, CORNBREAD, hemp.com/JCE, and use the code JCE at checkout. You're going to save 30% on your very first order. The CBD gummies formulated to work with your body, not against it, so they will grab you in a headlock from the left-hand side. I'm telling you, folks, again, cornbreadhemp.com/JCE, 30% off your first order. How can you put a price on sleep and mental healthiness and wellness?
There is no price that is acceptable. However, there is a great deal for the listeners of this show when it comes to Cornbread Hemp.
Yes.
Yes.
You are correct.
And that promo code one more time.
Yes, that is. I was trying to make sure I didn't hang up on you. I hit the wrong button. That is cornbreadhemp.com/JCE, the promo code JCE, as it always is and always shall be.
All right, there we go. We can't move on without Taigada or arigato, whatever it may be.
Mamito!
Right, you never heard anyone say Inoki. I used to love when he would yell, "Thank you," to the crowd. He was so humble.
You've been a wonderful audience.